Welcome to this lesson in the Medical Sales Certification Program, and what we're going to talk about is value, not product. And so the reason I titled it that way is that the focus that you need to have in medical sales is going to be on value. Now, that is not to say that the product doesn't matter. Obviously, the product matters. Everybody knows that, and anybody that tries to pretend that the product doesn't matter, it's everything else, is being disingenuous. But when you get to the top in medical sales, when you're working with one of the premier companies, or even if it's not a premier company, it's an early stage company that has proprietary technology, a lot of the products are very good. A lot of the products, it's really hard to differentiate between the two. You're going to have to go to the marketing department and figure out why, what the marketing slick says as to why they're better. But each company has those marketing slicks. Like, all right, who's got a better total knee? Stryker, Zimmer, DePuy, Arthrex? Who's got a better one? And why? Tell me why. Like, everybody's going to have their pitch, and everybody has a good product. So how are you going to differentiate it? That's where this comes into play, value. People buy because of value. Now, it's true that you're going to have scenarios where a proprietary product comes to market and the product, quote unquote, sells itself. Now, I don't even like that term, but the reality is there are certain products where they're just head and shoulders above other products. And it is what it is. You can be a bad salesperson and you're still going to make money. You're still going to increase your sales. You're still going to sell a lot of those products. But that is 1% of the product used in surgery, if that. The other 99% are going to be very similar, very comparable to other products in the market. And that's why the value is going to come into play here. And so when I say value, let's dissect this a little bit. Value is, what are the other variables that go into the decision making? Let me actually just write this out. Other variables in decision making criteria. Because product is one. Product is one, right? That's a reality. But when you get to the top, who's got a better knee, Stryker or Zimmer? Okay, they both have a good product. What else? That's where you need to look at what are the other variables in the decision making. Better clinical outcomes. Can you show better clinical outcomes? It says here in this journal that these are our 10-year follow-up studies and we perform better than the other company. What about cost savings? Our product is going to be less expensive, or the procedure is going to be less expensive, or based on your volume, we can save you some money. What are the ways that you can work different angles to make it work out such that the customer saves money going with your product? Reduce surgical time. You can use our product and you're actually going to be able to get done more quickly than you otherwise would. And there's numbers that are thrown out all the time as far as what does surgical OR time cost. Because what they've essentially done is looked at, all right, every minute of surgery, you've got anesthesia running, you've got heating and cooling, you've got different machines running, you're paying staff time. So what does 1 minute, what does 60 seconds cost in the operating room? And it's a little bit different hospitals to surgery centers. It's going to be a little bit higher in the hospital. I want to say that it's going to be roughly $100. So you've got $100 every minute in surgery. Okay, so if you can save somebody 10 minutes, in theory, you're saving them $1,000. So there's your product cost differentiated right there. Now, it's not that easy, and I honestly haven't had that much success selling decreased OR time, but that is a factor. It is a factor. They kind of look at that as a soft cost, right? Not a real hard cost. That is the price of the implant. They look at the OR time as a soft cost, but it's a reality. If you're selling total joints, are you showing up to the clinic a day or two ahead of time to do your preoperative templating? So, a patient that gets a total knee, they're going to have an x-ray done, and you're going to take your templates and you're going to stick them up next to the x-ray, and you're going to say, okay, your femur is going to be a size this, and your tibia is going to be a size this, because each of the femoral and tibial components have multiple sizes on them. And so you're going to try to match up, all right, what do we think this patient's going to be? Now, it doesn't mean that you're automatically going to go for that. The surgeon's going to, make their intraoperative decision based on what the sizing is, what the anatomy tells them intraoperatively. But are you going to add value by going in and making sure you do that ahead of time and coming up with your preoperative templates already ready to go and say, all right, doc, I already did the templating. It looks like the femur is going to be a 5 and the tibia is going to be a 4, right? Like there's value in that. What about post-op follow-up on the patients? Are you tracking those? Sometimes we're not necessarily talking to the patients directly, but are you following up with the physician? Hey doc, we had this, total knee last week. How's that patient doing? Have you seen that patient back? What's the status on them? What about bundling other services? What if you're selling the total joint, but you're also selling a CPM, a continuous passive motion machine? Maybe you're in the DME space as well. So how can I bundle then my total joint with a CPM and give you a full package, or bundle in cold therapy and give you the post-op race and whatever else? There's how do I bundle other services in the other services that are going to be important to the doctor and the facility outside of just the product itself? What other value can I bring there? What about having backup equipment in the facility? I have extra reamers, I have extra, retractors, I have another tray of sizing templates, whatever that looks like. Maybe the doctor is concerned, what happens if I drop this on the floor? Do you have another one? Do you have a backup? Okay, I worked with this guy last week and he didn't have one. If you promise me that you're going to have those available, I'll try your product. That's how that works. That's how it works. You're going to have opportunities based on bringing value outside of just the product itself. Are you taking them to training courses? Are you finding other things that they want to do? Do they want to play golf? Do they want to go out? You and your wife go out with he and his wife. What is that like? Your job in medical sales is to find all the reasons, all of the variables that go into them making a decision on the product and the products that they use, and try to maximize each one of those. Try to take into account every variable that you can, including the product, but you're somewhat more or less stuck with the products that you have because you're not manufacturing them. Now you could choose a different company to work for, so that is what it is. But let's just assume that you're stuck with the company that you're with and the products that you have. How do I maximize all the other variables that go into the decision making that I can impact with this physician so that they'll give me the business? Or with the facility, what does the facility want? How early do they want their trays there? How many backup trays do they want? Do they want case costing? Do they want case maximums? Do they want to see, annualized returns? Do they say, all right, if we do this many of your joints, I want the price to be this, there are so many variables that come into play, especially in medical sales, and especially as over the past, 5 years, 10 years have evolved, there are more and more decision makers involved in these types of deals. It used to be just a one-on-one with the physician. That's really gone out the window. The physician does have decision-making power, right? Like they're the end user. They're the ones that are operating on the patients. But you've got CEOs, you've got administrators, you've got outside personnel, you've got medical directors for hospital systems, you've got GPOs, you've got VAC committees. You've got a ton of people that are involved in making these big time decisions. And as we see this, this condensing in the, what's the word I'm looking for? Condensing, that's not the right word. But as you see these big groups come to, here in Illinois, here in Chicago, we've got big groups like Northwestern, you've got Rush, you've got University of Chicago, you've got, the Advocate Health System. You've got these massive conglomerates that are eating up different hospitals and surgery centers, and they're really centralizing the decision making. So how do I get in with those people? Yeah, I got the doctor to give me a yes, but how do I get, this person over here in this administrative building to help me, push it through the value analysis committee? There's so many variables. And so the objective of this lesson was to help you understand that you have to come in with the mindset of, how do I bring more value than the other person? How do I bring more value than the competition? And because for the most part, you're going to all have good products. So find all the different variables that you can pull on, that you can tug, that you can affect, that are going to help you get the business, because ultimately that is what it comes down to. They're looking for value. How much value is this person, is this company, is this group providing for me? And those people, generally speaking, are going to be the ones that get the business. All right. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If not, we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.